Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video we are going to be planting tomato plants in a hanging basket. Let's get started. Like many of us, when lockdown started, I tried to fill the gaps I had in the crops I wanted to grow by buying some plants online from retailers that I had come to trust over the years. And gosh, if you could get onto their websites, then everything was out of stock because demand was so high. Eventually I came upon one that I've got a feeling my mother used to buy from many years ago, and I thought, well, I haven't tried them yet. Let's do that. They said they had stock, and to be fair, the ornamentals that I ordered from them arrived pretty quickly. Actually, one pack, which was some scented stocks, got stuck over the bank holiday in the post, and they're really yellow. I've potted them up. They were tiny plug plants. Got my fingers crossed for them, but But I also ordered some tomato plants. I ordered a Shirley as a standard size tomato, and then I also bought a pack of 3 what they call posty plugs of, I've forgotten again, Tasty Bite? Bite size, tomato bite size. So they're going to be a cherry sized tomato. I ordered over a month ago, and they keep pushing the date back for the delivery of these tomato plants. And I was getting so cross, and I know we're only at the very end of May. But to be able to get these plants to grow big enough and then fruit, you know, we're pushing our luck a bit now. And if these posty plugs are as small as I think they are, then they're really going to need some time to get going. So I went up the road to my favourite barn shop, who do some of the best plants I've ever seen, and I buy lots of my containers from them because they're just phenomenal prices and really nice selection. And I bought myself a Shirley. That'll go in the greenhouse. And then I bought 3 tomato tumbler, which I thought would be really fun to do in a hanging basket. And that's what we're going to do today. As gardening projects go, this one's going to be really simple. This basket is about 14 inches across. I have lined it with some landscape fabric, actually, because the nesting birds keep stealing all my coir liners and just shredding them to nothing. Inside it I have taken an old compost bag, popped some holes in it and cut that to fit. Good tip is to actually, if you're cutting yourself a new liner, is to fill the basket with compost first and then cut the liner to fit, because otherwise the weight of the compost can push it all down so much and you end up with a barely lined pot at all. Hanging basket, pot, basket. I'm going to fill with multi-purpose compost. Now I'm not going to add anything to this. I'm not going to feed them yet. The nutrients that are within the compost will be more than enough to feed these plants until they start setting flowers. And that is when you start applying your feed. Really good way to make sure your tomato plants establish really well is to plant them as deep as you can. Now I'm actually going to take off the seed leaves from the bottom, and I'm going to remove the first set of leaves as well. Unpop my plant, and I'm going to pop the root ball right down low. I want all of this stem to be covered with compost, because this stem is going to throw out roots and it's going to help this plant become more drought tolerant and really robust within the planter. I'm just paying attention to where my hanging points are on my basket so that I can lay one of each between the 3 points. Try not to bend the stem at all as you are breaking the leaves off. There. So this variety has been bred specifically for growing in pots and hanging baskets. It is meant to tumble. I have heard stories from friends of online retailers actually cancelling web orders just because they cannot meet the demand that they have had. So, there's a strong possibility that my plants may never turn up. And if they do, I'm going to have a lot of tomatoes this year. Something you can do to help prevent compost drying out and to direct water more accurately is to actually sink a flower pot or the top of a bottle into the compost. It's going to be completely hidden once this is hanging up high, and it just means that the water can percolate right at the roots rather than spreading outwards and maybe running off. And that is actually sitting right on top of those root balls. You can still water into this area, and in fact you will probably need to because you're aiming to get roots coming off these stems, but that will help direct it. What you could do even is make some extra holes in that pot to make sure that the water tries to percolate out a little bit higher up as well. Up to you. Finally, I'm just going to tuck the tag in so I remember what I have used. So that's now in its new home, hanging up. I can make sure that I rotate the basket as they start to develop, try and keep it growing evenly. Hanging on the pergola here, it should get lots of light. Right, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to rate, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!